So if you think about a beehive, it's a box of pollinators. And when most people look at that, you might have some feelings. You might think, what is that? Or I'm not going near it, or I want to be a beekeeper. And I know this sounds silly, but what I see is information about biodiversity, because bees are going out into our environment for miles around each property, and they're collecting information. And that information might be in the form of pollen when they're going to visit each flower. They're pollinating, they're producing seeds and fruits, which really help to propagate plants, which bring in carbon. About 50% of the atmospheric carbon that's released by human activity is taken back in by plants. And so we think about pollinators as helping with these net zero goals that I know many of you are working on. Of course, anybody who eats food needs bees, anybody who likes healthy fruits, vegetables. So it's often said that 1 out of every 3 bites of food that we rely upon for our healthy eating, you can thank a bee for. There are over 100 fruit and vegetable crops that are pollinated by bees. They contribute over $100 billion annually to the global economy. And even the hay and alfalfa that the cattle industry relies upon comes from bee pollination. And that brings us dairy and cheese. So bees are really important. Bees are dying. And this is a huge problem in our modern world. This graph, we're looking at total honey production, so the productivity of the bees in the United States. The honey production has gone down nationwide in terms of tons. And from a few years ago, we're only about 1 out of every 2 beehives survived, really 56% survival nationwide. So again, if we're thinking about bees and beehives as an indicator species, they're telling us how the ecosystem is doing, and it's not doing well. And I know all of us can remember as we were kids, we would get stung by a bee. That was just part of being a kid. You would see on road trips with our family, you'd have to put the windshield wipers on because there's so many bugs that we hit. That doesn't exist anymore. We see this happening all the time, and these now are data coming from our research beehives that support our observations, and we know now as business and sustainability leaders, we can do something about it. And they are really this bio indicator or this living system for ecosystem health. They're giving us information. They're giving us data that can power our reports for ESG and sustainability, as well as any other stakeholder demands. So they help us with our accountability goals in a way that doesn't even require a plug. Right? This is a biological system. It powers itself.